Hi guys, today I'll show you how to subtract rational expressions with the factored denominators. Okay, so what is a rational expression? I'm gonna kind of show you guys like an explanation of the lesson and then we'll start it. Okay. So a rational expression is basically when you're adding, subtracting fractions or even multiplying or dividing where the numerators and or denominators contain polynomials. So let's start off with the basics. What is a monomial? Monomial is one number, mono, with a variable. Binomial is two numbers with two different variables or two different variables to different powers. Trinomial is three, and polynomial is more than three. Over here, in this case, we have four. Okay. So, what is a factored denominator? Okay, so over here, if you look here, this is 1 over parentheses x minus 1 parentheses x plus 1. The denominator is factored because it came from x squared minus 1. Okay, so if you factor x squared minus 1, you'll get x minus 1, x plus 1. I'll show you guys how to factor in a while. Okay, so let me show you guys some definitions. Okay, so before we start, okay, so what is a common denominator? It's when you find the least common denominator over here. Okay, so in this case, look at the denominators. We have 8 and 5. We're looking to add over here, okay? We have 8 and 5, so we're going to list the multiples of 8 and multiples of 5. I did mine up to 40, but yeah. And then I did mine from 5 up to 40. We can see the first number that is the same in each of them is 40, okay? So you want the denominator to be 40. So in order to do that, we're going to times this 8 by 5 and this 5 by 8. If we do that to the denominator, you're going to do that to the top too. So 2 times 5 and 6 times 5. Okay, so when you add them, the numerators, you get 58 and the bottom stays the same, 40, which can be simplified to 29 over 20. Okay, so how do you factor over here? I'm going to give you guys two examples, okay? Say you have x squared minus 4x minus 21. So in order to factor, you can see first off, there's two x's, like x to the second power, right? So you're going to put out two parentheses. That's the easiest way, okay? And then what two numbers? Multiply to negative 21, but add to negative 4. Okay, negative 7 and positive 3. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21, and negative 7 plus 3 is negative 4. So you would add them, and this is factored. This equation is factored over here. Say you have 6x squared minus 24x minus 30. You want to find out the greatest common factor from these, which is 6, okay? Because all of these can be divisible by 6. So you take out 6, okay, and you divide everything by 6. So 6x squared divided by 6 is x squared. Negative 24x squared divided by 6 is negative 4x. And negative 30 divided by 6 is negative 5. Okay. You might think you're done here, but usually, like it depends. In this case, we're not done yet, okay? We have one more step. So as you can see, look in the parentheses. We have x squared, and then we have two numbers that multiply to 1 and add to negative 5 and add to negative 4. So you want to set up two parentheses. So negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. Negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. So you're left with 6 parentheses x minus 5 parentheses x plus 1, which is the factored version of this equation. And what are first to third degree terms? Okay, so it's basically an exponent of the variable, or it doesn't matter, it can be even just a number, okay? And this is to the third power, right? This is to the second power. This is to the first power. And negative x to the first power can just be written as negative x. So when you simplify this, literally it's just simplified. So you get the same thing, but it's minus x. So 3x cubed plus 2x squared minus x. That was just a little minor example, okay? Now let's do an equation. Okay, this is the equation we'll be doing. Okay, we have x squared minus 5 over 5x parentheses x squared minus 1 minus 3x over x minus 1. So first thing you want to do is look in the denominator, and we have x squared minus 1. Let's factor that out. And as I said before, x squared minus 1 equals x minus 1 and x plus 1. Okay, because negative 1 times 1 equals negative 1. So you're left with this, okay? So now you can see that the least common denominator of both this side and this side is 5x plus 1. Because x minus 1, they're the same on each side, so you're not going to think about that, okay? So let's do this side. I brought this side down here, okay? So you're going to multiply this side by 5 parentheses x plus 1, the numerator and both the denominator. So 5 parentheses x plus 1. So negative 3x times 5, let's do that first, which is negative 15x, and then you're left with parentheses x plus 1. We'll factor that out too, okay? And the bottom, you're left with 5 parentheses x plus 1 parentheses x minus 1, okay? We can simplify that too, okay? So now this side, as you can see, this is the simplified version of this one, right? This one. So when you multiply negative 15x by x, you get negative 15x squared, and you multiply negative 15x times 1 is negative 15x. Okay? And this bottom just stays like this. Okay? You want to leave it out factored. So when you take this equation, okay, since you multiplied the denominator by this side, you're going to keep this the same, okay? So you get x squared minus 5 from here, and then you get this side, which was minus 50x squared minus 15x. We can add common terms, like terms. Okay, so negative 15x squared plus x squared equals negative 14x squared. Negative 15x is just negative 15x because it has no other like term with it, and negative 5 is just negative 5. Then the bottom stays factored out like this. So this is the answer. Negative 14x squared minus 15x minus 5 over 5 parentheses x minus 1 parentheses x plus 1. That is how you subtract rational expressions with the factor denominators.